Leadership in the age of acceleration. On one side of the scale stands a civilization built from silicon, chips, wires, and steel. Data centers the size of cities hum without sleep, without pause, without breath. Processors fire billions of calculations per second. Algorithms ingest oceans of information. Financial flows, biometric signals, supply chains, satellite feeds, every second of every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They have no fatigue. They have no circadian rhythm. They have no need for recovery. Systems update themselves while we sleep. Decisions are automated, simulated, scored, ranked, and executed at speeds no human system can track. Knowledge compounds at a rate no human mind can metabolize. Dashboards glow in the dark like constellations of synthetic intelligence, brilliant, relentless, indifferent. The machines never blink, but humans do. And inside that silicon brilliance, something begins to fracture. The faster the system moves, the less human it becomes. Human reflection shrinks, explanation shortens. Human judgment is pressured to keep pace with architectures never designed around human cognition, speeds, and limitations. Authority becomes automated in algorithms, while responsibility and accountability remain human. The engines of optimization roar, while individual humans quietly wonder whether they still matter inside the systems they are asked to design and support. Now let's look at the other side of the scale. Life at biological tempo. Children laughing in the sun, families sitting close enough to read each other's face, conversations that unfold without countdown timers, work that ends, rest that restores, meaning that accumulates through shared story, not through data throughput. Nothing here runs 24/7, 365. Because we are human, human beings do not flourish through constant acceleration. We flourish through rhythms, effort and recovery, challenge and restoration, ambition and belonging, meaning and identity. So I must ask some difficult questions today. Why would we build a world that diminishes the quality of human life? Why design systems whose scale and speed far outpace the very human beings they are meant to serve? Why engineer decision-making architectures that accelerate and automate but erode our time for good judgment? Why celebrate intelligence that scales beyond comprehension if it leaves us human beings anxious, overwhelmed, and replaceable? What is the point of speed if it hollows out meaning? What is the value of optimization if it fractures identity? These are not rhetorical questions. They're the defining design question of our time. There are no secondary prizes in civilization building. There is no hidden scorecard where output outweighs dignity or where efficiency compensates for erosion of trust. The only real reward available to humanity is an enhanced quality of our human experience, human flourishing. If the systems and innovations we construct do not enhance human life, then we are optimizing the wrong objectives. To understand what is at stake, we must understand what allows human beings to function well in the first place. When systems are healthy, certain capacities naturally emerge. These are not abstract virtues. They are the operating strengths of a viable civilization. Humans exercise judgment, the ability to weigh context, consequence, and moral weight under uncertainty. We preserve ethics, not as theory, but as legitimacy in action. We extend empathy, anchoring decisions in lived human reality rather than abstraction. We generate creativity under constraint. We build narrative, shared meaning that aligns collective effort. We form relational trust, which reduces friction and conserves energy. And beneath all of this lies transformational energy, our finite adaptive capacity to absorb change without fragmenting. These capacities are not decorative, they are structural. Remove them and human viability collapses. But these capacities do not emerge unsupported. They depend on conditions that must be preserved. Human beings require coherence, the ability to trace understandable links between cause and effect. We require agency, responsibility aligned with meaningful choice. We require belonging because identity and resilience are socially regulated. We require fairness, not equality of outcome, but visible consistency of rules. We require meaning because once survival needs are met, contribution anchors dignity. We require pacing and rationing because adaptive energy is finite. And we require identity continuity because profound change is tolerable only when people believe their core self can persist through it. When these constraints are honored, human capacity compounds. When they are violated, degradation begins. The environment in which we now operate places unprecedented stress on these constraints. Machine-scale intelligence processes patterns beyond human digestion. Systems operate continuously while humans operate rhythmically. Verification has become relentless. Authority is increasingly automated, yet humans are still held accountable. This creates structural tension, measurable strain created when forces pull on and against human limits. Consider 4 pressures we are living under. Tempo. When speed outruns reflection, ethical space shrinks. Legibility. When systems cannot be clearly explained, trust erodes. Load. When demand exceeds adaptive capacity, human exhaustion spreads. Moral compression. When urgency dominates, fairness and long-term meaning are sacrificed. Under sustained tension, even competent humans following correct procedures fail, not because we are careless, but because our understanding collapses under overload. History shows us what happens next. First, the environment shifts, then tension accumulates. Institutions fail to recalibrate assumptions about humans. Systems continue to presume that a human will notice, judge, explain, and carry responsibility, even after the conditions that made that assumption reasonable have disappeared. Capacity begins to fray. Judgment narrows into reaction. Ethics compress into expediency. Empathy recedes behind numbers. Creativity becomes tactical rather than generative. Trust thins. As these capacities weaken, the underlying constraints are violated. Coherence dissolves. Agency shrinks. Belonging weakens. Fairness is questioned. Meaning erodes. Energy drains. Identity destabilizes. At that point, legitimacy decays. Collapse risk rises through disengagement, polarization, cynicism, and authoritarian temptation. This is structural neglect. Let me be clear. The deepest danger is not that machines will dominate humanity. The deeper danger is that we will construct systems that make human capacities irrelevant, meaningless, and inhumane. When authority becomes automated, but accountability remains human, legitimacy rots from the inside. When people are held responsible for outcome they cannot meaningfully influence or fully understand, then trust erodes. When contribution is abstracted upward into dashboards and black box algorithms that cannot be clearly explained, meaning thins. When change accelerates beyond the rate at which energy can be restored, exhaustion follows. These are not failures of character, they are failures of design. So what is required of us? Architectural responsibility. The central challenge of our era is not technological advancement, it is design alignment. We must build for human viability. That means explicitly engineering human constraints into our system, designing clarity into complexity so decisions can be explained, aligning agency with accountability, especially where AI is involved, keeping humans central to stewardship and consequence ownership, making fairness visible and contestable, redefining contribution around judgment, quality, care, creativity, and ethical responsibility, not mere output, sequencing transformation so adaptive energy is restored rather than consumed indefinitely, framing change as identity evolution, not identity replacement. Tomorrow's leaders will require polyintelligent architecture, the deliberate integration of human judgment, machine capability, and ecological constraint. Machines carry speed, simulation, and pattern detection. Humans retain responsibility-bearing judgment, moral repair, and legitimacy perseverance. Ecological and intergenerational limits ensure that short-term efficiency does not undermine long-term viability. Responsibility must remain visible and defensible so legitimacy can endure. The future will not reward us for how fast we process data. It will not reward us for how much we automate it. It will judge us by whether human beings can live coherent, meaningful, dignified lives inside the systems we built. If children grow up more anxious, if workers feel more disposable, if leaders cannot explain the systems they govern, if communities feel less anchored, then we have mistaken acceleration for advancement. The only measure that matters is whether the future enhances or diminishes the quality of human existence. That is the question before us today. And it is the question that we must determine whether this century becomes one of human flourishing or of slow, preventable decline. Thank you.